you never forget it. You never forget it because there's nothing like it. This is Mount Panorama. This is Bathurst.
As soon as you head out on this mountain, it is total commitment for every single millimetre.
Looks like last cars are gridded up now.
If you can't make the judgment call 120 metres into 1,000 kilometres to just be a little bit sensible, don't start the race.
The Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000 erupts.
And the charge to turn one.
Okay, it's a great corner, second gear. The engine's right in its sweet spot. But remember, whilst you've got to carry mid-corner speed and use that exit curb, you want to get to 100% throttle early, so don't get too greedy. Don't get caught up in the moment. The moment is 6 hours later.
Side by side up Mountain Straight.
If I can offer you one free bit of advice, every single time you exit the pit lane, you grab your belts and you tighten them. And every other lap you think of it, you tighten them again. And after a pit stop, whether they've changed the brake pads or not, tattoo it under your eyelids. Pump the brake pedal, because if they put the pads in and you forget,
Fuel on the road.
you're a goner. Yeah, Griffin's Bend, right? It's one of the toughest on the circuit. If you don't get this one right, psychologically, you're gone for the rest of the lap. It's about 260 on the way in, remember, and you've got to knock off 130 k's an hour. But you've got to do that on the bumps on the way in. But let me give you a tip. When you're challenging for Griffin's Bend, either make the commitment or get the hell out of it. We're approaching the cutting. If I can't tell you anything simpler than this, there is one racing line up there. Make sure you're on the tram tracks. There is no room to put your front right tyre even a foot outside of where it needs to be.
Oh, the track is jammed. Oh.
Idiot, I'm sorry.
Good evening, race fans, and good morning as well. We've already got Fran Dobbins in from the UK. How is everyone doing? We are here for the season finale. Oh yes, it's the final run around the track for the drivers here at the Tasman Racing League Road Series. And we're here in the spiritual home of Australian racing. It's Bathurst. Terrible pronunciation, though. Sponsored, of course, by Eskimo Tech. Huge thanks to Jeremy Newton for sponsoring both the road and the oval series. And what a series he picked to sponsor. It's been an absolute cracker. Today's race promises to bring all the heat of the Bathurst tarmac straight to the championship standings. My name is, of course, John Wright on behalf of TrackSpotTV. An absolute pleasure to be here once again. I will be presiding over the action. I'll be joined, though, by my more than able co-commentator. We've got Mr. Boone Blake joining us today. He is as excited as I am for this one, even if it is 2:30 in the morning for him. That is the level of dedication that Boone has got for these leagues. Boone, good morning, my good man. How are we doing today? And how much are we looking forward to this race finale today?
Not bad, John. It's at 2:42 over here by now, actually. But this is an exciting race, one that I've made sure to stay up for. This is going to be one of the most exciting races of the season. I think Bathurst always is. It wouldn't be an Australian league if we didn't go to Bathurst for the season finale or the season opener. And this is just, I mean, it's been a hit every time we've come here, no matter what car we've run. It was a hit when we did it in the trucks in the oval series. It was a hit when we've done it in the mid-season challenge or the off-season challenge. So just a track that always produces great racing, especially in these GT3 cars. There's going to be tears, there's going to be heartbreak for a lot of these drivers, but it's just such a challenging track, such a rewarding track if they get it right. Always great to watch.
Indeed it is, and using the word hit there, completely unironically, we will see cars hitting the walls, unfortunately. That is the nature of Bathurst. One driver who will be vehemently trying to keep out with the walls. It's our own Lewis Buhagiar, multi-time series winner now here at Tasman Racing League. He's looking to tie up another one. Today he enters the race with a 50-point gap over his nearest rival, Oscar Dobbins. In layman's terms, he needs to finish in the top half of the grid. Oscar needs to win today's race, and Lewis needs to finish in the top 15 if he is going to hold the championship. Now that sounds fairly easy for a driver that's won as many races as Lewis has this season, but it's Bathurst. Let's remember that. So Buhagiar, as we can see, he is leading the way. Oscar Dobbins is second. Matt Webber, unfortunately, not racing at the end of the season, so it is a two-way fight for the title. Jeremy Newton could theoretically still win, but he needs Buhagiar and Dobbins to both not finish for him to be in with a chance. Nicholas Heath is the closest driver to Jeremy Newton, but he is a further 80 points back, so it really is. It's all about the top two, really. So we'll see how they go on. Pattinson currently in 6th with Justice Walker, Scully and Kyle Douglas rounding out the top 10. Walker and Scully is going to be an interesting battle. They're only separated by 3 tiny little points. Ben Christian has got 11th place, absolutely wrapped up. Then Vliestra, still can't get that one out. Custodio and Robinson, all very close on points with Drew Collins in 15th, and Jordan Nelson only 2 points adrift of that group, with Samuel Meader only a point behind. So quite a few positions could be changing for the drivers in the standings. The standings that are not moving, of course they're not moving, why would they? There we go. We'll have to do that just to get Rob Tilley on the screen. Maker of the intro videos, Tilley. Currently in 21st with Corbett, Blake, De La Rosa and Goodfellow rounding out the top 20. We've got quite a few drivers that have also taken part. Jay Sterndale Horn, Manuel Dodra, Jack Tovey, David Carney, all scoring points this season. But really, we're all here for the battle up at the top. And it is going to be a battle out there, Boone, as we mentioned. This is not an easy course. It is, of course, a public road, walls either side, and the drivers, of course, have got to deal with that double chicane entry pit lane. I mean, if you're going to make one of the most difficult courses in the world, why not put a double chicane? Oops, that's gone wrong. Why not put a double chicane on the pit entrance, Boone? I'm sure the driver's absolutely keen on that as well.
Oh, I'm sure they just love it. I know I really loved it when we drove it in the trucks. It's everything about this track is a challenge for these drivers. And if it couldn't be any more difficult, John, there's a possibility that we're going to get some rain here at the end of the race. We've got rain forecast for around an hour after race start, so if it does hit, it's going to be at the very end. But what do you think rain would do in the last couple laps here to upset this race? We could see the championship picture completely turn on its head at the very end of the race.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. A little bit of precipitation goes a long way to causing chaos, especially around the track like this. It really does give the drivers a bit of a headache as to what they do. Do they come in and change tyres, or do they risk being the only one that doesn't change tyres and find themselves with a self-inflicted dent into the wall? We're going to find out, and some of the drivers may find out the hard way. We can now. I believe, there we go. Ooh, he's got the job done in qualifying. A slightly longer qualifying session today, so we're going to accommodate that amazing intro video. And that extra 5 minutes has gone the way of Lewis Bihager. He's taken the top spot ahead of Bono. Max Forgione in third, Chris Murray in fourth, Oscar Dobbin starting in fifth position. He's on row 3 with Jason Snedden. We've got Adrian Gretchen, Lucas Blake on row 4. Jeremy Newton and David Nodden are on row number 5. And again, this is sticking for me.
I might have to cut you off after the top 10 there, though, John. Unfortunately, I think we are about to go green.
Oh, yes, we are. My apologies, folks. There we go. We've already got the green light and the drivers are off and running. Let's get some race info up on screen. Apologies. We missed the start of that there. So they're already out the gate, and it's Lewis Bihager that is flying out the gate already. He's got himself through turn 1. And he is warming up the tyres along that bottom straight. What a start he's got over Forgione and De Bono. De Bono looks like he's dropped a position. He has. Forgione's got the jump on him right at the start. A few more movers and shakers down the field. Looks like Kevin Rice has dropped a couple of positions. But Lewis Bihager has absolutely dropped the hammer. He is not for messing about this week. He knows. Well, he wins the championship. He's got me being nice about him for a minute at the end of the broadcast as well. Oh, they've got a couple of crashes there. Kevin Rice, Joe Della Rosa, they've all taken hits. Let's get that up and that up so we can see where the cars are. But Bihager absolutely, as I say, flying out the gate. Forgione getting the drop on De Bono. And we've got, who's that this time? Patrick Robinson. Let's get a quick replay and see if we can see what's happened to Patrick Robinson. Replay sponsored by Esmotech. This is coming up through the cutting. And we saw in the intro video, you need to be in those tram lines. Oh, and he's spun. So it's the Mercedes ahead of Robinson that spun. He's lost control. I believe that was Della Rosa facing the wrong way. Robinson's got no choice but to sit there and painfully wait for the majority of the field to make its way past. So that is going to tumble him right down to the back of the grid. We've also had Stephen Scully, so the crash is... The opening lap hasn't been kind to a couple of the drivers. Certainly Max Forgione won't be complaining at the position he's in. He's got himself up one spot. Where is Dobbins? Dobbins currently running in 5th where he started. He's got Jason Snedden all over his rear spoiler. That's Mercedes versus Mustang. Stephen Scully in the pits. So that's Scully already in the pits with 31 drivers out on tracks. In fact, I think Jared Williams is out of the race as well. Let's get back to the trackside shots there. So the top 3 we can see here, Bihager trying to shake off that slipstream while he's got the chance. Slight moves left and right while he's on the straight. Those obviously not counted as defensive moves because he's a fair bit away from the braking. So Chris Murray's getting brought into this one as well. As we jump on board, we've got to look at him chasing up the cut, and this is the top 4 and they're right in one another's pockets, and this could play into the hands of Dobbins. He is 3 seconds down on this group, and as I say, he's got Jason Snedden absolutely tearing away at his rear bumper at the moment, so he'll be hoping these 4 ahead of him keep this very close battle on so that he can catch up. Absolutely electric start there, Boone. Lewis getting the job done. Not only that, Max Forgione getting a good early position taken at the start of the race, but certainly Bihager, job 1 done. Put it on pole position and get yourself out into the lead. Now he just needs to get the head down, concentrate and keep an eye ahead of him and the potential championship win he's looking to seal today.
It might not feel like it sometimes with all the pressure, John, but the lead is the safest place to be when you're trying to lock up a championship. Lewis has done the hard part already. Now he's just got to put his head down and focus on turning laps. And on the other hand, for Oscar Dobbins, I mean, this isn't an ideal start, but if I was him, I wouldn't be particularly worried about getting overtaken by Jason Sneddon or Adrian Gretsch or Jeremy Newton, because Oscar knows...
I'm going to cut you off because we've got a big overtake in the final chicane there. De Bono goes round the outside. Wow, that is how you get that done, through the final chicane. Sorry about dumping in there, but De Bono pulled the slipstream. I tell you what, Chris Murray could look for a launch up the inside of Murray's corner. Incredibly, not named after the Scottish tennis player. I'm not sure why that would be. Of course, it was Murray's corner. It's got to be Andy Murray it's named after. But that is Forgione. Oh no, he's held on to the position. My apologies. Forgione did manage to hold on to the position there. De Bono had that inside line. He had the spot for a minute, and Forgione has took it straight back at him. So, sorry, you were just saying there, Boone, the safest place to be is up in first place, and it certainly is being aided by the drivers battling behind. Forgione and De Bono absolutely scrapping for those final podium spots at the minute.
And Forgione is a relatively new addition to this league. We haven't seen a whole lot of what he's capable of so far in TRL, but from what we have seen from him, he has been rapid. Dylan De Bono, we know he's got a ton of pace. This is a battle that's going to be really interesting to see develop. I thought De Bono was going to get that move done down into the braking zone last time, and I wouldn't be surprised if he tries the same thing again as long as he gets a good run off the elbow this time. As I was saying about Oscar Dobbins, though, I don't think he should be too concerned if he drops 1 or 2 positions here, just because he likely knows that in order to win this championship, he's going to need something to happen to Louis Buhagiar. It doesn't matter if he finishes 5th or 10th. If Louis Buhagiar finishes 1st, he's not going to win the championship.
Indeed, yeah, so Dobbins with a completely different mindset to what's going on up at the front of the field. Just needs to bring this one home. They are losing time hand over fist, though. That gap now up to 3 seconds. So it would appear the Mercedes... Oh, let me bring that up. There we go. Yeah, the Mercedes not the quickest around here. Certainly De Bono going for it again. Here we go into the final chicane once again. Are we going to see a potential move? Nope, not quite close enough this time. Murray still keeping a close eye on the battle that's going on ahead of him. We've got a big 4-way battle going on further down the field as well. Let me just see. All my data is freezing at the moment, but Ronald Long down in 17th position, as we can see, along the straight. Woohoo! That the chase for a reason, and he is certainly giving chase. Long could be having a look up the inside of Liestre here. You would think the Mercedes is going to be quicker in a straight line out of the 2, but the nimble Porsche, yeah, tearing through those corners, absolutely no problem whatsoever. So it's Long on to Liestre. And Jordan Nelson hanging in there as well. We're going to have to go back to Dylan De Bono though, because he really is pushing here, and he has got Forgione. Oh, has he got him where he wants him? Into Quarry Bend. Oh, that is very close indeed. Oh, and it's a bit of a wiggle from the Lamborghinis. Lucky, very lucky there's only one line through the cut, although there might be 2 here. Is De Bono going to go for it? Is he going to be followed through by the Aston, or is the Aston going to jump both of them because they're slowing one another up? Oh, that's a wiggle by De Bono. He's managed to sneak his way through. How has he done that? Through the cutting. That is no mean feat to get that done. Dylan De Bono absolutely on fire here, up to 2nd place, and Chris Murray could find himself the recipient of another position or 2 as well. We'll jump on board to his Aston Martin. Do love the sound of these cars as well. Down the hill we go, and Boone, as far as overtakes go, you don't see them much better here at Bathurst than getting one done through the cutting. Dylan De Bono in that McLaren absolutely on point. He sized up his opponent, he found the potential chink in the armour, and he exploited that to its absolute maximum, and he's got himself up to 2nd place.
It's just such a track where if you make one small mistake, you could find yourself 1.5 seconds out of contention behind the car in front of you. So when you have a run on someone, you have to take it like that. That was excellent committed stuff from De Bono. It's a move that you very, very rarely see for a reason. All 3 of those drivers had to be perfect to avoid contact, and they were. De Bono's managed to get through here. It's a hybrid Sim Sports 1-2. It'll be interesting to see if De Bono can play rear gunner here to help Louis Buhagiar bring this one home.
Indeed, yeah, the team will be absolutely delighted they're running in the top 2 spots. Max Forgione, he's actually getting some cheering on in the chat. We've got Jack Boren in the chat. Lusick as well. Who is Lusick? Someone, who is that? Someone remind me who Lusick is. I cannot remember. I keep getting confused with the names, but saying having... Oh, it's Rob! Oh, no way, Rob's having big time frame issues. iRacing, please. We've got another couple of crashes, in fact. Let's have a look and see. Nope, in fact, let's watch this overtake attempt. It's Forgione. Sends it around the outside, and he's gone sideways! Oh, a bit of oversteer on the curb there, and that is going to take him right out of the order. Let's have a look and see how that one played out in real time. As we can see here, tries to send it around the outside, just touches that curb, a little bit of oversteer. Oh, and he almost gets the full rotation. I tell you what, another 70 degrees of rotation there. He's been facing the right way, and you can see the cars absolutely piling past him. Oh, another replay brought to us by Eskimo Tech. And that one, that massively unfortunate there, Boone. He's been driving on the absolute ragged edge, and he has been absolutely nailing it, and just that one little bit of oversteer, and that has now dropped Forgione. He's tumbling down the order. He's down in... Oh, and he's spun again. He's had another issue with no rear spoiler, I believe. Let's take a look at the replay on here. But Boone, massively unfortunate. Great battle between these drivers, and just very unfortunate. Oh, that little bit of oversteer, and Forgione has now got a long way to go to get himself back to the pits.
And how quickly things can change, John. Just trying to get that position back. Just a tiny touch of the curb, the kind of thing that most tracks would be completely forgiving of. But Mount Panorama gives you no room for error. If you make one small mistake here like that, that's your run done. So a lot of the drivers that finish in the top 10, in the top 5 here, aren't going to be the drivers that are fastest on pace. They're going to be the drivers who keep it out of the wall.
Exactly. Survival is the #1 priority here at Bathurst. And we can see Lucas Blake involved in a battle as well. Why do the drivers' names keep disappearing? There we go. Lucas in the Porsche, he's got himself into a 4-way battle. And what a battle this is. It's Drew Collins, David Noden and Nicholas Heath that he's got either side of him. Our league organiser extraordinaire. He will be absolutely loving life at the moment. He's got himself in a 4-way battle, and that's what drivers absolutely love. It's all fine and well being the quickest and being out at the front, but everybody knows the more fun is getting involved in the battles. We're going to see another move here into Quarry Bend. I tell you what's a tough one. Oh, Lucas has thrown himself a bit deep. He's trying to carry more momentum than he actually could, and that's going to cost him a position. Heath has made his way through. Darren Justice has made his way through as well, so a slight miscalculation on the way into turn #2, and that sees Blake instantly dropping 2 positions and dropping to the back of this group, now led by Collins and Noden. We've also got Jason Snedden and Oscar Dobbin still right on top of one another. There's these two. Oh, through the parks we go. It certainly isn't a Sunday stroll where you're holding hands and taking a picnic basket through the parks. Oh, and he's gone for up the inside. The Mercedes has run wide. Drew Collins has run himself wide. He's put himself on the grass, and he's now going to drop to the back of this group. This is almost like a cycling peloton where the drivers are taking turns at leading. You can have a shot cutting through the air. No, you can have a shot cutting through the air. They're all taking a shot down at the back of the group. Lucas back up to 3rd in this group, and Nicholas Heath finds himself now leading the way out with this group of 4 cars. And he's clearly he's got some clear air, sorry, now that he's in 8th place, and he's left Lucas to chase down Noden. Let's see what Lucas can do into the final chicane. We'll get some onboard shots here. Look at the exit he's got out of Forest Elbow. Ooh, I tell you what, he's going for it up the inside. Is he going to be able to make this one stick? He is in the Porsche, so it is the more nimble. He's got it done. What a move. Oh, this is one of my favourite things about Bathurst, Boone. If you get an overtake here, it is well deserved and well earned, and it's never ever easy. And that is a nice counter move by Lucas. Lost some momentum up the hill, coming back down though. He's girded these loins and he's got himself back up a spot and continuing on this battle, which is going to be phenomenal viewing.
It's textbook stuff from Lucas there into the braking zone. That shows the advantage of the Porsche as compared to the Mercedes. One of my favorite things about the GT3 class is just how the different cars play off of each other, and how the Porsche is able to get that run down the straightaway and just do so well into the chicane. Obviously, perfect car placement. And we'll see if he can get his foot down, chase after his right rear racing teammate here in Nicholas Heath. But good stuff from Lucas Blake so far, running just inside the top 10.
Indeed, yeah.
As we see Noden
Sorry, Young.
Noting into the wall just a little bit there. It doesn't look like he's picked up any damage from it, but that might drop him a little bit out of consideration for this battle, as I think we've seen Drew Collins hit quite a bit of trouble now. He is down in 19th position after being right with that battle for 10th place a lap ago. Collins has had a major issue in the last lap. He's dropped 7 places now.
Just running through the incident tracker here and can't actually see anything for Collins, so not sure entirely. Oh, he came in the pits. So yeah, Collins is actually taking a pit stop, so that is why he's dropped so far down the field. He's come in and taken an early pit stop to shrug off some damage. We've got Oscar Dobbins and Jason Snedden. These two have been absolutely inseparable since the start of the race, and Snedden still trying to apply the pressure. Oh, let's get that up. There we go. Again, Mustang versus Mercedes. Oh, he's thinking about it in the last corner. Is he close enough? He is not quite. Dobbins did leave more than enough room, very generously there, left more than enough room for the attempted overtake, but Snedden wasn't able to slide the car up that inside line. Adrian Gretsch not far behind. Oh, Anthony Capin is out of the race. He has had an absolute monster crash. I'll replay that in a moment. We'll see what these two can do into turn number 2. Of course, Quarry Bend. I do still think my petition is valid. I do think we should rename Forest Elbow Hell's Corner.
Ooh, as we see Snedden.
Yep, on you go.
Snedden just into the wall a little bit there off of turn 2, I believe it was, and it's going to give Dobbins a bit of a better run, a little bit of breathing room here as they come up to the top of the mountain section, but Snedden's still in contention for this battle, and he's got a little bit of damage on the front of that Mustang. I think these two cars may have been acquainted with each other at some point so far in this lap, but Dobbins, just a bit of separation. I think it might be a good time to see that Capan crash, because it looked like he had a black flag, and maybe he pulled off the track and just reset to the pits.
Oh yeah, heading into the park. Extra oversteer on the curb, and that is how unforgiving Bathurst is. You only need to be a millimetre off course, and yeah, he's jumped straight back. That was a massive hit. He took the straight back, and there we can see that Aldi Aston Martin in the pits as well. For some reason we don't have pit boxes today, folks, not sure why. But yeah, another Eskimo Tech replay. Oh, and I tell you what, we've got some close battles up at the front. Dylan De Bono is catching up to Lewis Behager, and unless I am mistaken, and I don't think I am, De Bono is the fastest driver on track by about 0.2 of a second a lap. He's done a 2:03.0, Behager on a 2:03.2. Now this is where the difference in mindset comes in. This is why commentators like myself say such silly things as a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Behager here needs to finish in the top half of the group, and his main rival in the championship, of course, Oscar Dobbins, sitting in 4th position. They've gained the spot. Oh, I tell you what, we're going to see a change for the lead before I even finish my thought process. Dylan De Bono goes around the outside, so the team have swapped their top 2 drivers, and that is De Bono, who is still showing his Velocity Sim Lab for some reason. We will get that fixed. He is definitely with hybrid, and Behager just lets him slide past. At this point, this is what. Oh, and Chris Murray's just set the fastest lap of the race with a 2:02.8. Oh, we're going to have a 3-way battle here, and he is not on the team roster. We will see about getting that change. But certainly for me, Boone, if I'm Lewis Behager at this point, I am not getting myself involved in any unnecessary battles. Of course, he knows he needs to survive, and the way Behager's wired, he wins. He sets fastest laps on the last lap of the race when he's 7 seconds clear, which could be suicidal in some folks' eyes. But yeah, Behager for me there, very sensible move. He's got De Bono absolutely piling up behind him. No point in putting up a battle, especially with a teammate, and all you're trying to do is safely get to the end. So race IQ 200 there from Lewis, recognising that his teammate is quicker, and just lets him fly on through, holding on to 2nd place, but still importantly, that championship lead is still maintained.
I don't think we're going to see much fighting from the hybrid cars here. Like you mentioned, Lewis is certainly one to try to push it as hard as he can, no matter what the circumstances are. But if there was ever one race where you just want to kind of drive it like a grandma and bring the car home in one piece, even if you lose a few positions along the way, it's this one for Lewis. He's just got to finish in the top half of this race. That's all he has to do. And I think it would be a huge mistake for him to battle with anyone at this stage, let alone his teammate. I'm sure they've just gotten on the radio there with each other, swapped the cars around going up the straightaway. It did look like Lewis lifted out a little bit coming down towards turn 2 just to make sure that overtake was as easy as possible. As now we've got our other championship contender, Oscar Dobbins, coming in for his pit stop. This should be a scheduled stop. I don't believe he's hit any trouble, and they are in the window where they'll be able to make it all the way to the end on fuel, so Dobbins going a bit earlier than the field. We will see if this works out for him.
Indeed we will. I'm just making some changes in the background. That should now correct. Nope, it's not corrected his team. We will get that sorted. So yeah, apologies to the team. We've still got the bonus velocity he is with hybrid, but yeah, Dobbins into the pit for the shit. Well, we're already 10 laps in. Time flies when you're racing here at Tasman Racing League. That is for absolutely sure. And we've got a bit of a... Oh, he really came into Skyline there like an absolute man on fire. Tearing very close to those walls. We've got Zach Vliestra closing in on Patrick Robinson. It's Porsche v Porsche into Quarry Bend. Is he going to go for the cut? But on the way up to the cutting, not quite close enough. Got a group of 3 cars just ahead of them as well, but these two on an absolute knife edge as to who's going to actually take this position into the pit stop. And what are we thinking about the pit stops? You're much better at the strategy than I am, Boone. What we're saying as far as the pit stop goes, 10 laps in does seem a little bit early to me, but I am just a commentator. What do we think that Dobbins is trying to find himself some extra track, because he's going to have much more worn tyres and he's going to be carrying a bit more fuel than the drivers ahead? So what we're thinking the rationale behind these early pit stop there is?
Oh, well, I think that conventional logic would say you pit on either lap 12 or lap 13 here, just to try to minimize the weight of the fuel load across both stints, try to make sure that you have as little fuel in the car as possible for as long as possible in order to get to the end. As we see Jeremy Newton now coming in, and I suspect we'll start to see a lot of the front runners come in next lap on lap 12. That would be my guess. I'm sure I will be proven completely wrong, as I often am. But I think the logic here from someone like Oscar Dobbins is he's running sort of mid-pack, sort of mired in the middle of the top 10. I think he was P6 when he came in. So there's really no risk at this stage to try something, to try to jump ahead. It's all to play for him. It's a very high-reward, low-risk maneuver. At worst, he drops a few positions, but you've got to try something to try to get this championship away from Lewis, because he's pretty on rails right now in that P2 position right now. Although I will say, Chris Murray driving excellently right now in that number 44 Aston Martin, closing in on the rear bumper of Lewis Buhagiar. He is getting very close indeed, inside of half a second now, and we might be seeing a move here sooner than later. This is not a teammate for Lewis Buhagiar. This could be a little sketchier. John, do you think we're going to see Lewis just move out of the way here, or do you think he's going to battle?
So, I think Lewis is going to battle. Because he is Lewis. If it was me, I'd be getting myself right out of the way and bringing home the championship. But one of the things about Lewis, he is an absolutely fierce competitor. As I say, the number of times he set the fastest race lap on the last lap of the race with a 7-second lead, right on the edge of the track limits, threatening to potentially bin his car, but still looking to bring home fastest lap honours. He is, as I say, a fierce competitor, loves the race winning, and he loves the battles as well. So I think he might put up a bit of a fight here. I personally wouldn't, but then I'm not out here winning championships. My only claim to fame was winning an ARM division quite a few years ago in an American league, and that was only because 2 of the other drivers dropped out with 2 races to go. So that is my championship winning pedigree in a nutshell. But certainly the Aston Martin, oh, Neves thought about it. He is carrying a bit of damage on the front of that car as Murray, and they've all stayed out with 12 laps gone, and here comes some traffic coming out the pits as well. They're trying to get a bit of slipstream. Lewis says, yep, just you stay in a straight line, let me do the work, and that might have cost them a little bit of time. Murray surely going to have a look into Quarry Bend. Oh, as Buhagiar positions himself on the inside line. If you want this, you're going to have to go the long way. The Aston definitely has got the grip and got the grunt to make this difficult. for Bihajer, and for me, I mean, potentially coming at the pits now, not a bad idea for Bihajer, just to release some of that pressure that he's been put under at the moment, because it is ever mounting as they head up the mountain. Murray really is chasing him down. We've got another black flag actually. Jack Tovey has violated the track limits too many times. He's found himself with a drive-through penalty. And we've got quite a few drivers. Why is that change in size? And never mind. I can't. Oh, there we go. Sorry, SDK really is having fun with me this morning. My apologies. Let's get back onto this battle and actually change that back again. Thank you very much. As they head down towards Forest Elbow. All this, and I tell you what, Dylan De Bono really showing why Bihajer's let him through. He's already 3 seconds in the lead. This time though, we are potentially going to see another move into the final chicane. Absolutely love to see it. Along the Conrod Straight we go. The two of them are absolutely side by side. It looks like Murray's got his nose in front. He has indeed. He swings it around the outside. Whoa, and that's a big contact with the curb there by Bihajer. That's unsettled the car, and that's given Chris Murray a very easy overtake, all things considered. He looked like he was going to have a lot of work on his hands. And they've stayed out again, so they're going to complete another lap. So they're going to go, or the drivers up at the front certainly, looking to go beyond the halfway mark and run the car as light as possible for as long as possible. Bihajer now in to third position, but again, he's done more than enough to maintain the championship at the moment. Dobbins, his main championship rival, has taken his pit stop. He is back out of the pit, and he is in 12th position. And he's got Jeremy Newton just behind him. Newton, another driver that has taken his pit stop as well. We can confirm. Oh no, yes, sorry, yeah, Newton has taken his pit stop. So has Dobbins. They are the lead two drivers that have taken their pit stop. Next down the list is Noden and Collins. They've both taken their stops. So has everyone from 21st down. And in fact, Kieran Rice has, unfortunately for him, been in twice so far to get some damage repaired. As Collins and Noden swap positions for 17th. We're still on board with Newton and Dobbins. I tell you what, it's a big uphill battle now. Yeah, I mean, we've still got 12 laps of Bathurst to go, so absolutely anything can happen. But Dobbins looking to run this one to the end. Newton absolutely all over the back of him, and they've got Douglas just ahead of them as well. So nice bit of a slipstream train going along the bottom straight for them into Quarry Bend and up towards the cutting. It is still as you were. There's David Noden, in fact, coming into the pits. De Bono is just heading along the Conrod Straight. He's actually got Brodie Daff in 24th position, just ahead of him. So we'll see again when they decide to come into the pits. This is the closest battle that we've got on track at the moment. I can confirm as well, Max Forgione, after taking that early dip into the walls, he's taken his pit stop. He's back out in 22nd place. Such a promising start he had, and that promise completely robbed from him by the Bathurst walls. Our championship leader, Lewis Bihajer, comes into the pits to take his pit stop. De Bono was... Murray has come into the pits as well, and there we can see more drivers staying out as well. Jason Snedden is staying out, so too is Adrian Gretz. We'll see Nicholas Heath has stayed out as well. We'll see, there's Lucas Blake in the background, he's decided to stay out as well. So a big split in the strategy now, as we had a few drivers come in just before lap 12. We've had second and third come in just after lap number 12. We'll see where they come out, and there is Murray already moving, and he's increased the gap. He was stopped for less time than Bihajer was, and he's absolutely dropped him. They've got a back marker now in between them. That is Scully, I believe. I tell you what, he stayed right out of the way. Now normally mid-season this would be a problem for Bihajer. He's lost a lot of time to Murray ahead of him. He's now got that car repaired, but Bihajer safely out of the pits. Where is he? He's currently running in 8th position, and he is 12 seconds ahead of Oscar Dobbins. So he's doing not bad, is Lewis Bihajer here, Boone. He's got himself in and out with the pits He's lost a bit of time to Murray ahead of him, but more importantly, he stayed at least a couple of positions ahead of Oscar Dobbins, with cars ahead still to take their pit stop.
I think that's the most important thing for Lewis right now. He's got a very, very big gap back to P9 Dale Horn. He's about 12 seconds up on him right now, and Dobbins is closing in on Horn. I imagine we'll see him make the overtake there within a few laps. But he's got a monumental drive to catch up to Lewis Buhagiar, and even if he does catch up to him, Lewis is in 8th right now. If Lewis finishes 8th, he wins the championship no matter what, as we see our race leader, Dylan DeBono, now into the pit lane. It'll be interesting to see if Sneddon or Gretsch follows him. Sneddon in. We might see this entire lead pack in now. I think they're starting to run to the limit of what the cars can do on fuel.
Yep, confirmed there is Gretsch coming into pits as well. Nicholas Heath is going to pull in. Lucas Blake pulls in as well. Yep, the driver's right to the edge of the petrol allowance that they've got in the machines. Here comes Darren Justice. He does pull into the pits as well. Here comes Chris Murray. He has taken his pit stop. He is rounding the last bend. Where is DeBono? DeBono is still up on stocks. Murray is on the start-finish straight. This is going to be close. He's only just moving. Chris Murray's got the lead of the race. Chris Murray has got the lead of the race. I think Lewis Buhagiar's got second. Buhagiar is round the first corner. Oh no, there's DeBono ahead of him. Wow, so Chris Murray gets the undercut done on the race leader. And he is now out in front with quite a gap as well. What a turnaround that is. Talk about super undercut there. He's got that one absolutely dialed in for the race win. Boone, Chris Murray in and out with the pit stops like an absolute whippet. Out of the traps, and he has got himself a 3-second lead from a 2-second deficit to a 3-second lead through the pit stops. That's absolutely game on for Murray. Beautiful, beautiful first stint for him.
Absolutely phenomenal stuff from Murray, working his way through both of the hybrid cars now at the front of the pack. He's got about a 3.5 second gap too, so he's in with a legitimate shot to win this race. Dylan DeBono has been the fastest car on track all day, but he looks to be struggling a little bit on these cold tires, and he's coming under pressure from his teammate Lewis Buhagiar now. I'm not sure what happened with DeBono, if he just lost all of that time staying out for one additional lap. If he maybe had to do a little bit of fuel saving on that last in-lap, if he was going to run out of gas coming towards the pits, that could have contributed to a slower lap time, or if he was slow in the pits themselves. But no matter what happened, it's worked perfectly to the advantage of Chris Murray. He's pulled several seconds, up to 4.4 now as they come down the straightaway. And that just could not have worked out any better for the 44 car, John. That is phenomenal. That's the kind of pit strategy win that you do not see very often.
Indeed, yeah. Whoa! That was nearly some hybrid on hybrid action there. Never go full Haas is the information that you give to your drivers before the start of the race. Needs to always get in contact. But yeah, Murray absolutely nailing it on. And I do think as well, actually, just to confirm, yeah, Murray is still the holder of the fastest lap. DeBono has joined him in the 2-minute 2. It's 2-minute 2.9. Murray's quickest at a 2-minute 2.8. So he's absolutely got the raw 1-lap pace to be more than deserving of the lead that he's got. And in fact, we've got another battle going on with Jeremy Newton. Look how close he's got to Adrian Gretsch ahead of him. And Oscar Dobbins. Dobbins running back in 5th. He was up to 4th. So we'll see if we can get any further improvement for him. He's doing everything he can. Oh, Patrick Robinson with another crash, unfortunately. Jack
it has not been.
Sorry, on you go, Boone.
Oh, sorry, it has not been Patrick's day today, is all I was going to say. He's running a fairly impressive 13th for the amount of things that he's had to deal with in this race, but trouble early on for that Porsche, and he hasn't fully been able to overcome it. He is back where he started, at least. If he can avoid Ronald Long overtaking him here, he's going to be able to at least hold on to the position where he started and still try to get a little bit of gain out of this. But certainly Patrick Robinson, not quite towards the pointy end of the field where we've gotten used to seeing him here. Chris Murray, though, I do want to point out, John, on that last lap, he pitted at the same time as Lewis Buhagiar, but Buhagiar was a 2 2/10 slower on the last lap than Chris Murray, who now has a 5.5 second advantage out front. Chris Murray is flying.
The Aston Martin is absolutely all-conquering here today, it seems, and I tell you what, we're on board with Jeremy Newton. He has been absolutely left behind by Gretsch. Gretsch now looking to pile more pressure on one of our main championship protagonists, Oscar Dobbins. Dobbins back up to 4th position after the pit stops have ironed out on. Jason Sneddon has picked up a meatball flag. I tell you what, let's sneak ourselves a quick look at a replay on that. Replay is of course brought to you by Eskimo Tech, and he is all on his own. Oh wow! Oh! And there we go, right rear wheel completely separated, and that is a big hit for Sneddon. Straight back to the pits. And again, that is how easily Bathurst can throw you under the bus. You think everything is going fine, we're 17 laps in, I'll hit the same bit of curb that I have 16 times previously. Nope, no you won't. You're going to bounce off the wall, rotate 360 degrees one direction, 360 degrees in the other direction, and end up straight back to the pits as Adrian Gretsch still looking to put a move on Oscar Dobbins. It's Mercedes versus Mercedes as Jeremy Newton watches this from slightly further back. And I'll tell you what we'll do actually, we do have him in the commentary box as well. No we don't, sorry, Matthew Serrell not here. He was, I was going to get an update on the penalties so far. I don't think there's been too many needed to be handed out. Let's have a look at a potential overtake though. Max Forgione showing some electric pace at the start of the race, and he gets a good move done through the last corner. That one over Ben Christian to see Forgione back up to 15th position. It's going to be a long road back to the top 10, but Forgione certainly got himself a bit of pace here. Then early contact with the wall, lost the rear of his car completely. Had to pit, he's back out, and he's shown some good consistent pace since he has done so. Let's see, Jeremy Newton closing back in on this battle as well. There we go, we'll get his name on screen too. So yeah, still a three-way battle here that's being led by Dobbins. You can see Dobbins has actually got himself a bit of a breakaway. He's had a much better run over the mountain than Gretsch has, and that has left Gretsch to fend off the advances of Newton. So we'll see what Newton can do in the Lamborghini heading into the final chicane. Not quite going to be close enough to get a move done there, although on the brakes the Lambo doing a much better job than the Mercedes. We've also got Rob Tilley trying to get a move done on Jay Stern. Both of those drivers outside the top 15 uncharacteristically. Wow, that is so close under braking. Newton really is knocking on the back of that Mercedes door as they head along the start-finish straight to complete themselves lap number 18. We've only got 7 left to go here at the finale of the Tasman Racing League Road Series. It has been an absolute cracker of a series, and it's going to go right down to the wire for some of these final positions here. Dobbins, Gretsch and Newton dueling away for 4th place. First place certainly looks like it's been decided though, if we're all being honest here. Chris Murray in the Aston Martin. He's got the damage repaired that he had going into the pits, and he is absolutely flying. That gap now up to 6 seconds, and it is no mean feat to be pulling a 6-second gap over the likes of De Bono and Buhagiar in this league. So Murray absolutely dialed in at the moment, and he is pulling that car to a very good lead, although that gap has suddenly dropped by a second. Is that a curse of the commentator moment? Wow, we suddenly lost a second there through Skyline. Let me just see.
I did not see what happened there. That's going to be... It's really easy to just lose a second or two over the mountain if you don't get a good run through the cutting, though. It could just be that. He may have just missed his braking point a little bit at the cutting, not gotten it turned in the way he needed to, and lost that time in that way. That's certainly something I've done racing at Bathurst.
Absolutely, and through the 3 parks as well, over the top, McPhillamony especially, if you make a slight mistake there, you really have to balance the brake and the accelerator to make sure you keep the car out of the wall. It looks like he has kept it out of the wall, but he has lost a bit of time to De Bono. De Bono gaining time on Buhagiar. He's got a 2.5 second gap there, so our championship leader, he's looking to bring home a podium finish here at least, and that will be more than enough to seal the championship for him. Dobbins doing as much as he can. He is still at the front of this group here. Yeah, that camera's not working perfect. But yeah, so he is still leading this group here. He has managed an overtake in the race. He started in 5th, he's up to 4th. But that could be back down to 5th if Adrian Gretsch has got anything to say about it. He is looking mighty quick behind. And it has been a full game of cat and mouse between these three drivers, ping-ponging between who is looking closer to the overtake here. Newton now 7/10s down as we head into turn number 2. And it is the two Mercedes that are doing all the running ahead of him. Jordan Nelson trying to catch up to Ronald Long, and Brodie Daff and Zach Vliestra having themselves some handy little battles. We've also got, Kyle Douglas comes into the pits. Max Forgione is closing up on Nelson ahead of him. He's got a fair bit of pace over a single lap on Nelson, so if he can keep a couple of laps together, he could see himself further inside the top 15. In fact, he is going to get promoted further into the top 15 as Kyle Douglas comes in to take a pit stop. He's going to lose quite a few positions because it's still quite close down the field. Jack Tovey is in the chat as well, saying that he had some issues. The car was borked, steering damage, and it was so far down that I decided to not continue. So yeah, Jack Tovey out of the race. Jason Stead and Damien Coates and David Carney all out of the race as well. Bathurst, as I say, one of the cruelest tracks out on one of the cruelest tracks there is. Absolutely no room for the slightest of mistakes. Very little runoff any place in the track. In fact, the only place you can really afford a runoff is here into the final chicane with all the grass in front of the hotel, and they all make it through very nicely indeed. I'm just starting to see Max Forgione. He's gotten a lot closer to Nelson, a lot quicker than I thought he would. Through the parts we go into McPhillamy. He's not going to try it up the inside of McPhillamy. Of course he is. That Lambo has got absolute grip for days under the guidance of Forgione, and that is a very brave and very concise move that Forgione has made, and not really a surprise, Boone, given the talent that we saw from him in the opening exchanges. Just an innocuous touch on the curb saw him into the wall, but since he's come back out of the pits, Forgione, he's a man on fire. He's got the bit between his teeth, and he is absolutely carving his way through the field, and that was a beautiful overtake at a difficult part of the track.
And it'll be a bittersweet feeling for him. That's one that he's going to want to watch back and put on his highlight reel. But ultimately, this race is going to be a tale of what could have been for Max Forgione. He was right there at the front. He could have contended for his first win in TRL, but it's going to have to wait until next season for him. There's two sides to these races. So for every Chris Murray story that we have, Chris Murray coming back after a pretty significant layoff here and driving his way to the front of this race, we've got someone like Max Forgione just coming out on the wrong side of an unlucky break with the curb, and he's not in that lead battle where he looked like he might be challenging at the start. So it's obviously, with the pace that he's shown, we're going to see him continue to move forward a little bit. It's a 30-second gap from Patrick Robinson in 11th up to Joe Della Rosa in 10th. So I think we're going to see a little bit of a cap on how far forward Forgione can move. He might get past Ronald Long here, but I think that might be about it.
Yeah, definitely a case of what could have been. It certainly whets the appetite for next season, though, that is for sure. Can't wait to see the driver line up for that one. And I tell you what, Forgione, he is catching up to Long. He is taking no prisoners over the mountain. And yeah, we'll stay on board with Forgione, because I think we're about to see another highlight reel overtake here. It's Ronald Long as the driver ahead of him. There is confirmation on screen. Now that is who we are indeed looking at. We thought about it in the McPhillamy as well, but the Mercedes driving Patrick Robinson, he's seen that one before. He's obviously heard what happened on the previous lap and decided to take a more defensive line through there. Out of Skyline to come. Look at the way he hits that dip in the road. Down into Forest Elbow. He's surely, I was going to say, he's surely going to keep his powder dry and try it on the straight, but no, he puts the car against the wall, forces it up the inside. I tell you what, yeah, he is driving angrily at the moment, I would say. That was a brave move, and bravery and stupidity always are, or often, very close bedfellows, and Forgione putting it into the wall to get that overtake done, almost completely ending his race potentially, but he did get the overtake done, and he is ahead of Ronald Long. But for me, Boone, that was a bit of a brave one to force his nose in. We had the Conrod straight beckoning, still tried it there through Forest Elbow, so really is out to prove a point in the second half of the race here for Gione.
Well, I'm not one to argue with the methods of drivers who are objectively better than me, and obviously the man's getting results with it, so I can't complain, as we're going to switch over to a battle here. It looks like Kieran Rice chasing down Dale Horn for P19 down the Conrod straight. I will come back to my thoughts there, as we've got Rice going late on the brakes. He's going to try this around the outside, I think, but Horn should have this one sealed off. Rice maybe going to get the cutback coming down into the final corner here, but I think Dale Horn's going to have this one done for now. He's forcing Rice to make a decision, go around the outside, and he's going to get that done. The superior grip of the Porsche there again. We've seen that car be good all day at this track. He's got a little bit more momentum, trying to keep it stuck in around the outside on Dale Horn into turn 1, but Horn once again goes a little defensive into the first corner, shuts off the run, and he's going to have a good run up the long straightaway towards turn 2. Kieran Rice going to have to take a second to regroup here. John, it's obviously the Porsche probably the fastest car around this track that we've seen, other than maybe the Aston Martin. But where do you think is a good opportunity for him to overtake here? Obviously, he may have a run coming towards the mountain, but I just don't think it's worth taking that risk, even at this late stage in the race.
Yeah, it's a risk versus reward scenario that you've got to look at, and around Bathurst, it's very rewarding to get an overtake done, but the amount of risk you've got to put the car and yourself in really does increase drastically. Rice here, yeah, he's got the more nimble of the two cars. He's going to try and look for something through one of the tighter corners, I would think, and he's going to have to get his finger out if he's going to do it, because David Noden is closing in on them as well. Oh, even though Noden is actually a back marker here, so Noden is a blue flag. Oh, he's touched the wall there, the force just trying to... Oh, he's clipped the wall there again. Putting Noden in a difficult position. He clearly has more momentum coming down the hill, but he's got two cars battling ahead of him while the blue flag's waiting. Oh, and that's another exit there from Rice that he will quickly want to forget as he loses all that momentum. So as we were saying that, Boone, Bathurst steps in and says, "No, Mr. Commentators, what I'm actually going to do is give Mr. Rice a couple of contacts with the wall." He loses that momentum and he's now chasing down 26th position. Oh, who's got blue flags waving, so this makes it an interesting proposition into the chase chicane, but the Merc has got the pace here. Rice has cost himself a fair bit of time, and that is how easily, once again, Boone, it can go wrong. Rice looked like he was eyeing up a beautiful overtake there. We were just wondering when he was going to get that done, and the Bathurst wall said, "No, baby puppy, we are going to take some of the aerodynamics and some of the momentum and now leave you with what is effectively, 2.5 second gap to now overturn." So Rice has gone from, hero to zero in a couple of corners there, and it's the Bathurst walls that have thrown him under the bus once again, although we will interrupt Boone before he even starts, because Brodie Daff and Zach Vliestra are still going on it. I thought Daff was about to get the move done there into Quarry Bend, but he does not make it stick. He is certainly looking quick behind him. We've got Adrian Gretsch and Oscar Dobbins. These two are going to have separation anxiety when the race ends. They've never been more than half a second apart in fact, the only time they were separated by more than half a second, it was indeed when they came into the pit. They are still going in it. Sorry, a lot of light flashing, Boone. Yes, on you go.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that is in front of them. It's one of the Valhalla Motorsport cars, but I'm not sure which one it is at the moment. But that BMW is going to be seeing blue flags here. Dobbins obviously a little impatient, as he should be. He's got Adrian Gretsch right on his rear bumper, but they're going to get through here safely coming towards the top of the mountain section. That was... my apologies to the driver of that BMW. I'm not sure who that is at the moment, but they did the right thing there, slowing down to let these guys through before they got to the top of the mountain. Otherwise, that could have gotten messy in a hurry.
Indeed it could. Indeed it could have. Like I say, it was definitely Jay Stern. He's just been overtaken by Jeremy Newton there as well. So Newton has made his way past also. So there he is trying to catch back up to Gretchen Dobbins ahead. Still sitting at half a second there. We're already 23 laps deep. We've not got many laps left to go. In fact, this is going to be the start of the penultimate lap, and it's going to be a penultimate lap which sees an 8-second lead for Chris Murray. What a race he has had, involved in a battle, podium battle, all the way up to the pit stops, and then in the pit stop just got an absolute jump on the hybrid drivers and finds himself, as I say, with an 8-second lead. It's Dylan De Bono currently in second, and our champion-elect, Lewis Buhagiar. And don't be surprised, folks, if we see Buhagiar take the fastest lap on the last lap race. Even though he just needs to bring the car home, he will be driving on the absolute edge. He doesn't know how to race any differently. You can see that corner exit perfectly highlighting just how on the edge he is. That was very close indeed. And speaking of very close, Dobbins and Gretz once again within 3/10. Oh, Ronald Long has just picked up a slowdown penalty, and that is not a fortuitous position to do so, because he's got Jordan Nelson breathing down his neck. Where is Nelson and Long? There they are there. Now, Long is the car in front here. He has managed to scrub off that slowdown penalty. Has it slowed him down enough for the BMW to catch up? It doesn't look like he's going to quite get close enough. But Max Forgione, he might be getting close enough here. He is up against the Porsche along the Conrod Straight. The Porsche takes the wider line. Is he going to try something around the outside here? He is indeed. The Porsche sends him around the outside. If you want the overtake, you're going to have to go the hard way. Max Forgione says there is no hard way around here. I can overtake any car at any point on this track, and that is another highlight reel overtake there. The Porsche very compliant against the faster car, but Forgione, oh, it really is tantalizing. It's almost heartbreaking to see these overtakes so far down the field when you see Forgione's pace and racecraft. He could have done so much up on the podium, Boone, but he is certainly maximising his finishing position with the performance that he's putting on at the moment. Absolutely outstanding work for Forgione to get back towards the top 10.
And still a French chance of cracking into that top 10. He's down 35 seconds on Joe Della Rosa right now, so something would have to happen to one of the cars ahead of him right now, but that is certainly a possibility here. I will say, John, unfortunately, it does not look like rain is on the cards for us today. It seems like this race is going to come and go before the rain gets to the track. But Chris Murray, he has driven outstandingly on this second stint. He had one small issue that dropped the gap back to about 4 seconds early on, and since then he's extended right back out to almost 8 seconds. It was 8 seconds at one time. It's just a performance the likes of which we do not see very often against some of the drivers that he's doing it to. He's taken Dylan De Bono and Lewis Buhagiar, who are usually two of the quickest drivers in any session that they're in here in TRL, and he's sort of taken them behind the woodshed. He's just pulled tenths of seconds every lap after lap here. This has been a domineering performance from Chris Murray, and certainly his highlight in TRL so far.
Yeah, absolutely. The superlatives, we're going to need to invent some more superlatives to describe the race that Murray's had. I mean, we've seen right through the field, we're now down to only 24 drivers out on track. That is how many we have lost so far because of the walls around here, and Chris Murray has been absolutely flawless. He did pick up a bit of damage in the first stint of the race, still managed to get the overtake done on our now, I don't want to say now confirmed championship winner, because we still do have a lap of these walls to go. And again, Buhagiar is such a fierce competitor. He is probably going for the fastest lap of the race as well. As you can see him coming down the hill. Yeah, no quarter given the rest. He's absolutely jamming on the loud pedal there to get himself onto the Conrod Straight. But Murray putting in an absolutely exquisite performance to start in 4th place and make his way up to first. As Boone said, in this field of drivers, it's absolutely no mean feat, and he is going to complete 25 laps and be the first driver to see the checkered flag, as we're still seeing yellow flags. Anthony Capin picking up a slowdown penalty on the final lap, but it is going to be Chris Murray that brings home the race win. Lights flashing in the Aston Martin. He is loving life. What a drive that is by Chris Murray to bring home the race win here in the final round. Dylan De Bono is going to cross the line. Hybrid, I've got 2nd and 3rd, and there is Lewis. Let's see some donuts then. Buhagiar. He wrapped up the Tasman Racing League Oval Series yesterday, and he wraps himself up the Tasman Racing League Road Series today. That is not a bad week's work for Lewis Buhagiar. Oscar Dobbins does manage to hold on to 4th place, so he improved by 1 position to get himself across the line in 4th. So a great season for Dobbins, it has to be said. He will finish second in the championship, and well deservedly so. Adrian Gretsch tried to make it as difficult as possible for Dobbins. He does stay in 5th place. Jeremy Newton, Nicholas Heath, Lucas Blake, Darren Justice and Joe Della Rosa all in the top 10, and Max Forgione, after that drive, he will cross the line and see 11th place. If this doesn't whet your appetite for next season, folks, I don't know what does. You may need to seek help from a medical professional to check that you actually do still have a pulse, because that was a cracking end to the series, and again really does bode well for what we're going to see next season. Boone, incredible stuff for 10 rounds. Buhagiar, a well-deserved winner, and some serious talent right throughout the field on display here today.
Absolutely. The Road Series is by far the deepest series here in TRL. It's got the most participation and just an absolute all-star lineup of drivers here. I do want to go back to Oscar Dobbins for just a second before we forget, before we move on from him. He did finish second in the overall championship, but he's had the AM championship locked up for a couple weeks now. We haven't talked about that really just because he's had it locked up for so long, but a phenomenal season and some well-deserved donuts for Oscar Dobbins as well there. Everything we've come to expect in a final race at Bathurst, though, here. We had some huge crashes, some really tight, exciting on-track action, a bit of a surprise winner. This is one that had it all, John.
Yep, it really does. Bathurst does not disappoint, and neither does Tasman Racing League. We'll get a quick word with the drivers at the moment. We still have a couple out on track before we can get the results. But as I say, we will have a word with a few of the drivers before we end. Again, the results should be up in a moment, but the drivers there we go. And of course it's brought up the qualifying results. Why would anything go smoothly? It's the final broadcast of the series. There we go. Chris Murray, what a drive. 6 seconds ahead of De Bono and Buhagiar on the podium. Oscar Dobbins, first in the AMS, wraps up the AM Championship, and has been alluded to, he did that with several weeks in hand. Don't worry though, folks. He will be up in the pros next season. Adrian Gretsch, second in the AMS. It's Darren Justice who rounds out the AM podium. He finishes 9th overall, just behind Jeremy Newton, Nicholas Heath and Lucas Blake. Joe Della Rosa rounding out the overall top 10, just ahead of promising talent Max Forgione, Robinson, Long, Nelson and Christian finishing in the top 15, with Douglas in 16th, Leicester 17th, Horn, Daff and Stern rounding out the top 20. Let's see if this does work. Yes, it does. And as you can see, quite a few drivers out. Williams, Carney, Coates, Tovey, Snedden, Scully, Noden, Rice, Collins, Capin, all out of the race. Rob Tilley and Jay Stern bringing up the rear of the field, finishing just outside the top 20. But we have our podium drivers. Now, not quite sure which order to go in. I tell you what, because he's won the championship, we'll get the podium. We'll get the podium last. We'll get the podium in top order down. So we'll start with Mr. Chris Murray. Welcome into the commentary box, Chris. That was an absolutely incredible race. And a very well executed pit stop as well, it has to be said, to bring home that race win. How did you find that race, and was it as much fun out on track as it looked here in the commentary box?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got absolutely no practice in, so apart from the Monday night practice. But yeah, being out on track, it was good fun. It was good to be back with the boys as well. It's been a while.
Indeed, yeah, that was quite the battle that you had in the opening stint there to get the move done on Lewis. It did look like you were carrying a bit of damage at the start of the race. Did you pick up a little dink there in the first stint? Was that something that you got repaired in the pit stop?
Yeah, I did get a bit of damage, and I felt like it was holding me back a little bit. So I knew if I could just hold out into the pits, I had the pace, and as long as I had a good pit stop as well, I could really get up there in first place.
Yeah, and talk to us about the pit stop as well. I mean, that was an absolute monster undercut that you managed to perform on the drivers. Did you expect to come back out and take the lead of the race when you came out with the pits?
No, I was super shocked, especially considering I am horrible going into the pits. It's where I've always let myself down. So yeah, when I jumped out in first, I was super surprised.
Indeed, yeah, and that closing stint as well. I mean, you pulled the gap away. It was one thing to get it done through the pits, but to actually get it done the way you did after the pits, I mean, that was some very quick and consistent laps. How did you find the second half of the race for yourself?
It was all a blur. It was very nerve-wracking. It's been a while since I've done a race with these guys, so I just didn't want to make a mistake, and I wanted to see the finish line.
Well, the finish line you did indeed see, the first driver to see the checkered flag here in the final round. So, huge congratulations, Chris, on bringing home a race win here, and very much looking forward to see what you do next season.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for everyone who run the league, and also thank you to yourself for the streaming.
Indeed, yeah, an absolute pleasure. Free front row seats to the best show in town. Absolutely cannot complain. But there we go. For some reason, drivers' names not appearing. Of course, SDK throwing us under the bus, but that was Chris Murray, our race winner. We'll now jump to the driver in second place, Dylan De Bono. No stranger to the podium here at Tasman Racing League. Dylan, that was quite the action-packed race there. You started off in second place and ended up finishing in second, but quite a battle up at the top. How was that race for you?
The start of the race was good. Had good pace at the start. Then got a little bit caught up with a lap car just before my pit stop, which lost a little bit of time, and then forgot to untick tyres at the pit stop, which took probably 4 laps for the tyres to come in, and Chris was just too fast, and couldn't catch him down.
Indeed, yeah, and yeah, I mean, Chris was absolutely almighty. It's been a good season for you so far, Dylan, finishing well inside the top 5. How have you found the season overall here at TRL? It looks like it's been one, I mean, yeah, certainly the championship win was on the cards early doors, but certainly looks like it's been a good season so far. How have you found it?
Yeah, I wasn't fully committed to all the rounds, so I just popped in where I could, where I was available, and had a good time. Had a good time with it.
Indeed, yeah. And looking forward to next season?
Yeah, definitely. Should be good. Hopefully a number of different tracks, and hopefully some different weather.
Yes, indeed. We were hopeful of some rain today, but didn't quite get any. Before we go, though, anyone you'd like to say a quick hello to or a thank you to?
Yeah, big thank you. Shout out to Marty Walker. He just had a surgery, so hopefully he's all good, ready to come back for the next season. TRL for hosting the league, and you for streaming it every week, and Hybrid Sim Sports as well. You know, yeah, that's what gets us done.
Apologies to the team. We've still got you down as Velocity. I'm not sure what's going on with SDK. We will get that fixed for next season. But Dylan, huge congratulations on another podium here at TRL, and very much looking forward to see what you do next season.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
There we go then. That was Dylan De Bono finishing second. What we'll do, we'll jump now to Oscar Dobbins, if we may. He's wrapped up another race win in the AMs. He's brought home the AM Championship after a very difficult race. I mean, he was chased down there for the entirety of the race. Oscar, it's been an incredible season. AM Championship wrapped up, multiple overall podiums as well, and another AM race win here after an intense battle all the way through with Adrian Gretsch. How have you found, or how did you find that race this evening?
Yeah, it was a tricky one. I think Bathurst is definitely my weakest track of the 10 that we did this season, so pretty happy to finish 4th in the end. I had Snedden behind me for a little while, and then kind of put it into the wall, which I don't think was on the broadcast, which was nice, but that was why I ended up pitting early, and then came out and had kind of got past Adrian and then had him behind me for the rest of the race. So it was pretty intense, but overall pretty nice, and it's good to win the amateurs as well. We'll be in pros next season, so Lewis, watch out, I'm coming for it.
Love to hear it, absolutely love to hear it. That is why we are here, to see Lewis challenge over the top of the field. I'll have to mention as well though, big shout out to Fran Dobbins, first in the chat again today. We'd barely got the broadcast up and running and Fran was in cheering you on, so you've had some great support over the season, Oscar, and huge congratulations from me as well, because I know what time of day it is when you're racing first thing in the morning. So yeah, some great support. And how are you looking forward? As you say, you're going to be chasing Lewis down up at the top of the field. How are you looking forward to next season being up in the pros?
Yeah, I think we're going to do some kind of format changes to the road season. I think they're going to bring in another class of car as well, which would be really cool, which will change up the racing, add some traffic. I think that change will make all the difference, but I don't know, Lewis is still very quick, but yeah, we'll see. It'll be exciting.
Indeed, yeah. Well, absolutely looking forward to it. Oscar, before we let you go, anyone that you want to say a quick hello or shout out to?
Yeah, just shout out to Lewis. There's a good season, and wasn't hoping that you'd crash in that race, but would have been nice. You never know.
I love to hear it. Well, listen, Oscar, it's been an absolute pleasure presiding over the races. Huge congratulations on bringing home the AM win, and absolutely cannot wait to see what you do next season up in the pros.
Yeah, thank you, boys. Thank you for the broadcast as well. It's really wicked.
Yeah. Well, yeah, again, absolute pleasure to be here. Fran Dobbins, proud parents in the Northern Hemisphere. Well done all, but of course, Oscar, super proud. So there we go. Fran in the chat again, cheering on Oscar, which I absolutely love to see. But here we go, folks. He came home in third place tonight. That was more than enough to seal the championship win. He did it with a bit of style, far too much grace. He's an annoyingly nice guy as well. I'm going to be able to say some nice things about him as well, which might stick a bit, we'll see. But Lewis, that was... well, let's talk about the race this evening. Started up in first place and had a bit of battle on your hands there. How did the race play out for you tonight?
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good race. I felt like we possibly could have won the race. It wasn't about winning the race though. It was more about finishing it. Obviously, we had bigger fish to fry than just winning a race. So, yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, just drove comfortably.
Indeed, yeah, we saw Dylan go past you in the first stint, and then you had a bit of a battle with Chris there as well. I know what type of mindset you have going into the race. Given that the championship was on the line and you just need to finish, did that in any way alter how you approached some of these battles this evening? Like when Dylan was catching up, was it a case of, I'm just going to let him pass here because I just need to finish this race to win the championship, or was the competitor's edge still there for Lewis?
Yeah, when Dylan come up, I moved out of the way and let him through. I really wanted to get Dill the win tonight. So yeah, let Dill pass, tried to back Chris up a little bit, but he was just too quick.
Yeah, Chris was incredibly quick, and they turned around in the pits as well during the pit stop, Lewis. I mean, Chris was absolutely lightning in and out of there. Did you expect him to get that much of a gap after the pit stop?
Nah, Chris nailed it. Yeah, he jumped me by about half a second, and yeah, jumped Dill by quite a bit of time. So, nah, he absolutely nailed it. Chris drove flawlessly all day. Yeah, and just nailed the race.
Yeah, he did. I mean, Chris drove flawlessly all day, that is for sure. But as far as flawless driving over the season goes, I think we have to throw all the superlatives your way, Lewis. It is, in the end, a very convincing win in the championship. Another championship wrapped up here at Tasman Racing League. How much does it mean to you to wrap up, to win another championship and have a great battle in the championship as well, all the way down to the last round?
Yeah, it's been a good championship all up. Obviously started off pretty strong at Daytona with the second place. I didn't think that we were going to be able to lead the championship. So yeah, got to the championship lead at Road Atlanta. Went on a pretty good streak there and won a few races. But yeah, it was a pretty good season and just managed to stay out of trouble.
Indeed you did. And looking forward to next season, I take it, defending. Are you going back to back here, Lewis?
I don't really know yet. I'll definitely be here for most of the races. I don't know if I'll be here for every race. I don't know. I've sort of don't know what I'll do yet.
Well, make a decision and be here next season, because you've got to come back and defend your championship, because the annoying Scottish commentator said so. So that's now decided. Okay.
Roger that.
Good lad. Well, something to say as well, Lewis, but before we let you go, again, congratulations on that championship. Thank you very much for jumping into the commentary box, and anyone that you'd like to say hello to or congratulate before we let you go.
Yeah, as Dill said, I wanted to give a special mention to Martin Walker. underwent some surgery on his shoulder, so wishing him all the best. That being said, I also want to say massive congratulations to all the hybrid drivers this season. Obviously Marty, Dill's done very well, and then Rob and Dave Carney's also just joined us, so they've all had pretty well, Dave and Rob have had some tough runs, but they're learning, and yeah, the rest of us have had some fairly good seasons, so special shout out to all of them.
Indeed. Well, yeah, absolutely echo those thoughts as well, especially for Martin after the surgery, so make sure you get yourself back fighting fit. But Lewis, huge congratulations, another series wrapped up, and really cannot wait to see what you do next season in the Ovals and in the Road Series, so congratulations again.
Thanks for everything there, John.
Absolute pleasure. There we go then, folks. We'll get thoughts from Boone in a moment, but I do just want to say, I want to take a quick minute here just to emphasise how good Lewis's performance has been over the season. He is just an absolute consummate professional. Most annoying thing about Lewis is he is genuinely a nice guy as well, which makes it even harder, but he has been absolutely supreme and an beyond fierce competitor that knows how to strategise to race. And when he gets enough petrol in the car, he really is absolutely unstoppable. From what we've seen over the past couple of seasons, his race craft, his race pace and his race consistency is nearly unmatched. And such a fierce competitor, I've mentioned it a few times, he is still doing things like going for the fastest lap on the final lap of the race. When he's got the race win tied up, he puts the car absolutely on the edge because he doesn't know how to do anything other than win races, and he does it absolutely spectacularly well. And he is a driver that I believe we should all look to imitate in some way. As I say, his race craft, his race IQ, all absolutely unmatched, and the competitive nature that he's got is absolutely second to none. And that is why we see time and time again Lewis up on the podium, if not at the top spot in a race, and more often than not up at the top spot in a championship. As a commentator and a broadcaster, it is an absolute pleasure to have drivers like Lewis, and of course Dylan, Chris, Oscar, all these other drivers in the league. But Lewis is our series champion, and it is beautiful to see him crowned once again given the all-round personality that he's got, the nature of his driving and the way he conducts himself. Again, the most annoying thing about him isn't the endless talent, the consistent laps, the pace or the strategy calls. He's a genuinely nice guy as well. So Lewis, huge congratulations from me and all the team at TrackSpotTV. It is a pleasure watching you out on track, and we genuinely cannot wait to see you do it again next season. And yes, that was over a minute, because let's face it, he's absolutely worth it. Before we close though, Boone, we'll get a couple of words from you as well. Of course, it is Lucas, your brother, that organises the seasons. You've jumped in and done some co-coms. You've been here from the start. As far as rating this season, we've got to go beyond 10 out of 10 for the 10 races we've seen here at Tasman Racing in the road this season.
I don't think it could have gotten much better than what we've had, John. I mean, we've had championship intrigue throughout, down to the final race. We've had numerous different winners. We've had just excellent racing throughout. Very clean, very competitive. I couldn't be happier with how this league's gotten off the ground, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how we go in all series next season. But I think the Road Series might have the highest standard of competition out of everything we run here at TRL. I'm super excited to see where it goes in the future and which of these drivers is going to take the championship next.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely nothing finer than a Tasman Racing League race. They've got the Indies, they've got the Ovals, and they've got the Road Series. So if you are looking to get yourself involved in some racing, this is the place to go. We've got Oscar racing from the UK, we've got drivers in New Zealand, Australia, America, we've got commentators in America. It is a multinational melting pot, and it is some of the finest racing that you're going to see on YouTube. So if you do want to get involved, do head over, get in touch with Lucas and the gang, and yeah, make it known that you want to come out and race, and all your racing needs will be covered. That is all that we have time for this week, though. It's a sad time, but we will be back for Season 3, so make sure you get signed up to that here at Tasman Racing League. All will be broadcast, of course, thankfully for me, here on TrackSpotTV. An absolute pleasure presiding over the races. And a big thank you to Tasman Racing League and the organisers and the drivers for the show that they put on for us here at TrackSpot. We absolutely love being in charge and cannot wait again to see what they do next season. We will be back for then. Keep an eye out on your socials. We'll keep you up to date as to when that is. And we are, of course, going to close once again with that Rob Tilley, the Rob Tilley video. Oh, and of course, my apologies. Huge shout out, of course, to Eskimo Tech, Jeremy Newton, for sponsoring all of the series. Big thanks to him sponsoring the replays and title sponsor on the series to make these things happen. So huge thank you to him as well. That's me waffled on for more than enough time though. Again, huge thanks to Ewan, we've had Jared, we've had Boone, Matthew Searle on the Searden as well, and we will be back for Road Series Season 3. Until then, stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.
From the start, from the start, from the start, from the start.